welcome to the Batman Drew podcast, the podcast about life, fandom, and all the random shit in between. So, let's talk about some life updates, shall we? So, it's been a while since I've recorded. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and some of that has been just solely a little bit of laziness on my part, a little bit of poor time management to try to be able to fit in this podcast in my everyday life. Part of it's also been because I've had some physical and mental health issues, and I've, been trying to go through that, right? So, I'd been debating on necessarily how public I was going to make this, but it's nothing like too serious, but finally started going to the doctor. I'm getting up there in age. I'm 38 years old, and I don't go to the doctor regularly, so I decided to go ahead and take a visit. And comes to find out I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which is not a shock. It runs in my family. I'm a big guy, and I've already been trying to make some life changes. So, for this really kind of just motivated me to be a little bit more proactive with it. But I started some medication called Manjaro, and apparently it's supposed to be really good for type 2 diabetes, but I'll be honest, like, some of the side effects have really hit me hard. Like, it talked a lot about some of the nausea you'll get and things like that, the fatigue, and I've been on it for a couple weeks now, and it has definitely hit me hard with the side effects, but I feel like I'm starting to level out a little bit, but I up my dosage in medicine here in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure that it'll be a little bit of a roller coaster. But with all that being said, like, I'm definitely feeling better. I think my blood sugar's getting a little bit more under control. So between working out, trying to make sure to make some good life changes. Look, at 38 years old, I want to make sure that I have a long life ahead of me for my kid, who is 4. And, this weekend, the family and I got out and got to do some stuff. I'll share that here in just a moment. But it just really reaffirmed the fact that I want to be there to live a long life for my kid. My dad died when I was 11, so, he was 52 when I was born. So I guess at 11 he would have been 63 when he passed away. That's still 25 years from now in regards to where I'm at in my life. So I'm really hoping to be able to make these changes. Not hoping, I'm going to make these changes so that way I can live a long life for him, for not only Grayson, but for Scarlett, for my wife. So I will tell you that one of the things that has really been bugging me over the last few weeks has been kind of where I wanted to, like, let my art take me and what I wanted to do. If you follow me or look at my content, you'll know that I'm a photographer. And I've just decided recently that I'm just tired of photography. I'm kind of tired of taking photos of people. And so, it was really kind of, I always felt obligated. I never felt like I was creating anything that I wanted. I always felt like I was just creating art for other people, and it just, I don't know, it exhausted me. So a couple weeks ago I decided that I'm just not going to do any more photo shoots, only on the rare occasion, and I surprisingly have been very happy with that decision. So I still want to create art. I still have a lot of ideas and things that I want to pursue. If you're looking at either on the live or on my video here to the right of me is kind of a bulletin board of notes for the movie that I'm currently in the middle of writing and going to film and direct. So at the end of the day, I just didn't have enough time to do everything that I wanted to do, and I had to prioritize some things. And every time that I decide to do something for myself, which I think is obviously healthy, but every time I decided to do something for myself, it was taken away from my family. And so something had to give. So photography was it. Still doing the toyography. Still looking to pursue my own business, my own small business, and things like that. So still more of that to come, and we'll talk about that here a little bit later in the show. But for right now, I felt good. I felt good about the decision I made to walk away from doing actual people photography. And so I think a lot of that, between the health and mental health issues that have come up the last couple of weeks, I really do. I feel like I feel better about my decisions. I feel better about my health. I feel better physically. Although, again, the side effects of the medicine has really kind of kicked my ass a little bit. At the end of the day, it was decisions that I needed to make, and I feel really good about it. So what's been going on? In regards to life updates, I got to experience something pretty cool this last week. It was really my son's first real Comic-Con to go to. We went to Galaxycon here in Oklahoma City, and as far as the con goes, as far as my review for the con, it was a pretty good convention. I'm not here to shit on anybody's convention. Listen, if you're putting up the time and effort to create your own convention and to allow people to be able to come and share and enjoy their fandom, I'm not going to shit on it. Whether I had a good time or not, I'm sure there were a lot of people who had a good time at the convention. I had a good time, though. I think that for what I go to conventions for, I really go for more of the vendors and the art and being able to buy collectibles and things like that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, when it came to variety of product that interests me, I would probably give it a 2 out of 10. There wasn't a lot there that piqued my interest and got me to open up my wallet and buy. But that doesn't mean that, it wasn't a good time. I'll post some videos on my social media and on my YouTube page to give a little bit of insight on how the con itself went. But as an experience, though, it was cool because, first of all, Scarlett, my wife, she cosplayed as Toothless, and as a human version, I guess, of Toothless. And look, my wife, if you don't follow her, it's Nerdy Princess. You can find her all over my social media. She is ridiculously talented, especially when it comes to like makeup and special effects and things like that. For the movie that I'm doing, she'll be doing all the special effects makeup and all the blood and gore that's going to go into it. Well, listen, she is stupidly talented, and she made the biggest part of her cosplay was her tail. Toothless has his long tail with, if you've seen the movie How to Train Your Dragon, it's his long tail, and that part of it is removed, and Hiccup creates like this little flap or whatever so Toothless can fly. So my wife had that, and this thing was like 6 foot tall, 6 foot long. It was kind of funny to see her having to walk around with it and trying to get in and out of it, but she made these little tiny scales that went on to like all of her body, but including the tail, and she super glued it, I believe. I don't know how she put it, whatever, magic, I guess, but she put the scales on her cosplay, and they ended up falling off a little bit throughout the con, and they ended up just everywhere. I mean, shit, even this morning when I got into my car, 2 days later, they were still floating around the car. But she had a great time. Makeup looked great. The cosplay looked great. And my wife, not to like talk about her personal life too much, but she does have some social anxiety, and she has some things that about her that she that she's still going through and things like that. So it's great to be able to see her really be able to kind of just get herself out there and be a social butterfly and allow her art to be seen, and it was great. Grayson, 4 years old, finally kind of enjoying his first real con. We're in the middle of potty training him right now, so I made him a deal the week leading up to the con that if you will pee and poop in the potty, you'll earn $5 a day. So that way you could go buy yourself a Batmobile. It's what he wanted at the con. Go buy yourself a Batmobile. So he was going to earn about $40 to be able to go find himself a Batmobile. He dressed as Batman for the con, went to go try to get himself a Batmobile. And we were there, 10 minutes. And all the excitement and everything just kind of wore out. And he was exhausted after that. We had to get him a snack, kind of give him a little pick-me-up. And then when it came time to finally go look for his Batmobile and buy it, just like any kid, he bought the very first thing he saw and said, fuck the Batmobile. And he bought himself a little Pokemon plush stuffed animal. So he's happy with it. So happy child, I'm happy. We did do some fun stuff though. We went to the video game section and got to play some video games while we were there, and he got to be able to see some Star Wars things. And I think the biggest thing he was probably the most impressed with was there was a Jurassic Park section there that he got to pet a little animatronic velociraptor, a little baby velociraptor, and that made him super happy. So listen, overall as an experience for my family and everything, I had a really fun time. Again, for my fandom, there wasn't a whole lot that hit, but that's okay. Not every con's going to be that way, but for Oklahoma City, that's just trying to build the fan community, trying to get more conventions and larger conventions in town, I think it was a win. I really do. This is the second year they've been. This was my first year to go. And I do think next year I plan on opening a booth. So, which really transitions me into the last life update, and that's really my motivation and my biggest emphasis on trying to build my small business. So, I'm a photographer, like we talked about. Specifically, what I feel like I specialize in is toyography. It's the photograph of action figures and toys, and what I do is I put them in real life settings to try to make them look as real as possible. So imagine, Spider-Man swinging around New York out of the comics, but what if he was swinging around in downtown Oklahoma City or downtown Dallas or Kansas City or whatever place that you call home. That is what I do, and I take those photos and I print them off, and I try to give you a home field connection to them, and I sell them at conventions. So I've been doing this as a hobby for a few years, but really now digging in, trying to really make a small business out of it. And what I've been working on the last few days is figuring out how to create an inventory system. Not only for the photos to make sure that I always keep enough printed, but that I can, in my personal life and my work life, I'm a district manager, district sales manager. So I have a lot of business acumen and business background. But how do I translate that into my own business? And building an inventory system is not as easy as you would think, because there's a lot of variables in it, especially when you're talking about photography, because it's not just those figures. Maybe when I'm talking about taking the picture, how do I describe the picture? How do I inventory it in the system? How do I keep track of it? How do I know? Because the ultimate goal is to take the business and say, okay, I'm going to go to Dallas for Fan Expo. I'm not from Dallas. So what I'd want to do is I'd want to go to Dallas and I'd want to take photos in Dallas to sell at the Dallas Con. But there's also the other side of it. It's like double the travel, right? Because I got to go to Dallas first to take the photos to get the inventory to sell at the con. And so being able to figure out how to track every photo that I have in every city that I'm in and things like that. And then also trying to track the character inventory, if you will, like what figures do I have to take photos of. So if you see in the video right here behind me is a Captain America statue. That's one that I've had for a couple years now that I haven't taken a photo of yet. So I definitely want to be able to build on my inventory, take more photos, but I need to figure out the best way to be able to manage that. So as I kind of go through those growing pains, hopefully if I find anything useful to share for any of the entrepreneurial people out there that are listening to the podcast or watching me, I will definitely share everything I can. I don't want to gatekeep. If you are brave enough to try to venture out and build your own business and make your own small business, I'm there for you. I want to be I want to be a part of your journey. I want to support you, and I hope that you do the same for me. So, listen, at the end of the day, life is never going to be perfect, so we just got to make it work, right?